One of the key strategies that we will rely upon in the digital marketing empire is something I like to call the content compounding effect. This is an effect that I've observed in SEO that I don't see discussed that much in the digital marketing industry, but I believe is a powerful driver behind a lot of the results we're seeing lately. And to put it simply, the content compounding effect means that the more content a blog publishes, the higher its chances for ranking every other piece of content on the blog. Let me give you an example here. So let's say there's two blogs. One of them, let's call it like blog number 1, has 500 content pieces, and blog number 2 has 50 content pieces. And let's assume that blog number 1 covers all of the keywords that blog number 2 covers, and then has like 450 more blogs, right? And let's assume that the quality level of the content is at a similar level as well. So what would happen for those 50 keywords that both of the blogs cover? Well, initially we would think that they would split the traffic evenly between those keywords, and it would be essentially like a coin toss who wins every keyword if the content quality level is similar, right? In practice, what often happens is that blog number 1 ends up getting most of the traffic, and blog number 2 gets almost no traffic at all. Why is this so? Well, if we think about it a little bit, it kind of makes sense, right? I believe people think of search engines as these like complex algorithms that make like these complicated decisions based on a ton of factors, and that might be true to some extent. But personally, I believe that the number one factor that they use to measure expertise on a topic is the sheer volume of decent quality content that a domain has published in that niche, in that topic. And if a blog has like hundreds of articles, search engines basically have no choice but to believe that these people like behind that blog must be experts on the topic. For that reason, when the two blogs come head to head against each other in the search engine results, the blog with the more content will always be viewed as more authoritative, and that's gonna end up being the tiebreaker in this situation, and the blog with the more content is usually gonna win. There might be exceptions here. The smaller blog might win if the content is exceptionally better, which is something that's really difficult to do, and it's time consuming and it's expensive. Usually we as bloggers tend to produce content that's of a pretty good level mostly, but we rarely go that extra mile because, let's be honest, like creating exceptionally great content is really expensive, and not a lot of us can afford to do that. Also, there's the factor of internal linking here. I believe this is another major key in why bigger blogs have a lot of advantages. So, as we kind of know by now, search engines view internal links almost like backlinks, but with a lower value, right? That's more or less how they view like internal links. And the blog with 500 articles obviously is gonna have a ton more interlinking going on in there than the blog with 50 articles. And that's gonna also propel its content upwards pretty much all of the time. Why is this important? Well, we at the Digital Marketing Empire team here are gonna create a lot of content. I believe we're gonna outperform and outproduce even like the major publications, and we're gonna completely dominate our niches. We're gonna cover literally every single keyword there is to cover on every niche, on every topic that we engage with. That's why we're gonna win, and that's why this is a key part of our strategy.